Okay.
Right.
All right. Want to proceed?
Yes. We left off that the city had entered the civil violation to get into evidence, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, Mr. Doorbell, how did you come across the property on July 13, 19?
I was the weekend officer who was assigned to the west side of the city, which be 7th Avenue going west to 17th Avenue. Obviously during routine inspections of the area. As the homeowner stated, there was large trailers in front of the property having equipment, digging equipment, as you can see represented in the photo. That caught my eye. I approached the workmen at the property. I asked them if they had a permit. They claimed they did not speak English. I said, well, I'll look in the system. I tried, in my best, in the little Spanish that I do understand and, try to speak. I told them that I was going to check in the system. If they had a permit, it would be okay. They would just have to post it. If not, I would have to cite the property.
Now, were these photographs taken by you?
Yes, they were.
And they are of the property on the date of the violation, correct?
That is correct.
At this time, the city would like to introduce the photographs into evidence.
Okay.
Mr. Dorville, I want to refer your attention to the second photograph here. Can you please depict what this picture shows here?
Obviously, it's a workman, and he's standing in a fairly large hole on the side of the property. I did check the system for, various permits. They didn't have a permit for that specific action that was taking place at the property, and thus I cited them. One, they had a very big hole, and obviously it's a life safety issue, digging holes on properties in particular, you're not sure if they're gonna hit a gas main or what have you, so they did not have that on hand at the time, and therefore I cited the property.
And you didn't see any postings anywhere on the property regarding
There
the
were no
permit,
postings
correct?
whatsoever.
Okay. I have no further questions for this witness.
Okay. Sir, do you have any questions for the officer?
Yes, I have. As a matter of fact, I have some pictures also here where it shows what exactly the plumber was doing there and where the damage he found. It was on the whole way. There's no other way for him to find the broken pipe without digging. I have some pictures here.
So,
Okay.
we admitting that.
What, basically, I think that do you understand the violation? Because I want you to be sure that you understand the violation.
Yeah, I understand the point. The thing is, he was just fixing the problem of the clogged pipe because he had a plumbing permit working inside the property as well.
Right, but you didn't have any permit for digging into the yard and working on the pipes.
No, he did it on his own. I wasn't even there. I wasn't even there when he was doing that.
But
So
what
you just contract any contractor. You don't know what exactly he's doing there. When they called me that the inspector was there, I just rushed there to see what was going on, but he had already left.
Okay,
Yeah, but they were doing the job there.
okay. So you're saying that you had, did you find any permits at all, Mr. Dorville? 'Cause you said they had
I have
I
them
looked
here.
in the system, and they had some permits, as I recall. It's over a month ago, but nothing for digging outside the property and nothing for digging in the yard. And there was a fairly large hole. And once again, it's a question of, life safety. If they hit a gas lane, obviously if they had an emergency, the property didn't seem occupied at the time. And when I was speaking to a workman, it said it wasn't occupied. From what I understood. And it would be a simple matter to contact the city and look into getting an emergency permit or some sort of, addition to their current permit to have that ground dug up the way it was. And in particular, they had the street blocked off, with large equipments and trailers, and, obviously that's what caught my attention initially, but obviously the violation speaks pertaining to digging, obviously this gentleman, I'm not guessing his height, but he's minimum 5 feet tall, and he's halfway in a ditch in the ground, and, that's a life safety issue.
All right, anything further?
No, Judge, not from the city.
All right. Based on the evidence presented by the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation did exist. I find in favor of the city. Sir, I do affirm the ticket. Okay? Thank you.
Next case is William Kelly and W. Marion W., case number CTETR 2019-000007. Officer Edme St. Louis.
Sir, please state your full name for the record in relationship to the property.
William Kelly. I'm the owner of the property at 1275 Northeast 136 Terrace.
Thank you.
Hi, can you please state your name for the record?
Edme St. Louis,
And what is your occupation, Ms. St. Louis?
Code Enforcement Officer.
Can you speak a little bit louder, please?
Code Enforcement Officer,
And how long have you been a code enforcement officer?
roughly about 7 months now,
And how long have you been working for the city of North Miami?
for 3 years now.
Did you come across a violation on 8/2/19?
Yes, I did.
Okay. If we can get the CVT on the screen, please. Do you recognize this citation?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize it?
I wrote it.
Okay. Is this the civil violation ticket that you gave to the property at 1275 Northeast 136 Terrace?
Yes.
Now, how did you come across this property?
While doing my daily zone inspection, came across garbage being placed on a swell, and it was on a Friday, and bulk pickup is every Tuesday in the area.
At this time, the city would like to introduce a civil violation ticket into evidence.
Okay.
Now, Ms. St. Louis, do you recognize these photographs?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize them?
I took them with timestamp, and also my name's on there.
Were these taken on August 2nd, 2019?
Yes, they were.
And they're of the property in question, 1275 Northeast 136 Terrace?
Yes.
At this time, the city would like to introduce the photographs into evidence.
Okay.
Now, is this what you, does this photograph, the first one that we're seeing here, depict the bulk trash that was outside of the property that day?
Yes.
And did you see anyone place this trash there?
No.
And when is the bulk trash supposed to be outside of the apartment to the home?
No earlier than 24 hours prior to pickup.
And this was, you've already testified this was on a Friday, correct?
Correct.
So what day should it have been there at the earliest?
Earliest Monday.
And the latest for pickup on Tuesday, correct?
Yes. Early morning Tuesday, before 7.
Okay, did you speak to anyone on the property while you were there?
No, I didn't.
Did you see anyone swing by and drop off this furniture?
The garbage were already there.
I'm sorry?
The garbage were already there.
What do you mean by that?
While driving through the neighborhood, I noticed the garbage. It was already placed there before I got there.
The furniture here depicted, you're stating it was already there when you came across it, correct?
Correct.
I have no further questions at this time.
Sir, do you have any questions for the officer?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, did you see someone put the trash there?
No, I didn't.
Okay, the trash was not put there by myself because I live in Cooper City. It was not put there by any one of my tenants. My tenants have been there over 5 years. I have 4 tenants there. It's a 4-unit building. And my tenants have been there over 5 years, and there has not been anyone moved or moved out of the building within the last 5 years. All of the trash that's there came from buildings around there. And if the officer had an occasion to visit that area on a daily basis, she would see that people were putting trash around the building on a daily basis, and it's picked up on a Monday, as would be the regular scheduled hour. And as a result of it, I have no control, and my tenants have no control of what's put on that swell out there on the property. And I have-
Where is his building in relation to these photographs?
This is the building right here, Judge. If
It's
I'm
on a
zooming
corner,
in,
ma'am.
if we can please put the photos back
Yes, please.
on the screen. 1275. This is the building. And this is the bulk trash that's right in front of it.
What is
It's
this
not
in the
in
middle?
front, it's on the side, ma'am.
What? So this is a walkway in between the trash and the property?
So
Yes, that's a
that's the
street,
sidewalk.
that's a
Oh, that's the
sidewalk.
street.
Sidewalk, there's a sidewalk there. It's
Oh, this is a
outside the
sidewalk?
Yes,
This is outside the sidewalk?
yes.
Let me ask a question. Miss St. Louis, how many units are in this property?
4.
Did you ever receive a call from any tenant regarding any illegal dumping outside of this property?
No.
Okay, how are we gonna tie this?
Can,
I wanna see the nexus. How do we tie this to this property here?
Judge, so, I mean, as I previously stated, Miss St. Louis was, are you asking for argument, or I just want to?
Okay, you can continue with your questioning, because I'm
I'm
waiting.
done with Miss St. Louis. I wanted to ask Mr. Kelly some questions, and then I'm happy to do argument.
So you want to prove your case through him?
No, Judge, I'm calling him as a witness since he's already testified, but I haven't closed my case yet.
Okay.
I am able to put him on the stand and ask him questions.
Okay, let's see.
May I proceed?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Kelly, you stated that you don't live on the property, correct?
That's correct.
You live in Cooper City.
Yes, I do.
Were you at the property on August 2nd, 2019?
No,
You were never there that day.
not that day, no.
Okay. Did you ever receive, how many tenants do you have at the time?
4.
Okay, and I'll just be clear, on August 2nd, you had 4 tenants at this property?
Over 5 years.
Okay. Now, did any of them ever give you a call that day?
That particular day, no.
They never called you and said that there's bulk trash outside of your apartment complex?
Your Honor, if that were to happen, they would be calling me every day.
I'm sorry,
But
is that, that's
people
a no?
bulk trash on that corner there where my building is located. They put it there the day before on a usually basis, and they just pile it there. They come by on Monday or Tuesday and pick it up.
Mr.
In
Kelly?
this particular situation here, I had no clue, I had no idea, and the tenants don't know who put that out there.
Okay.
And I have a deposition here from all of the tenants.
Mr. Kelly, can you just answer my question since I have you on the stand?
Sure.
I hear what you're saying. So you didn't get a call from any of your tenants regarding any trash being placed outside of the property?
That's true.
Right? And they've been there for 5 years, right?
Yes, right.
So now, you weren't there the day before. Have you ever personally seen anyone drop bulk trash outside of this apartment complex?
I've seen trash there, but I have never seen anybody put it there. I've seen the trash there.
So you really can't testify, or there's no way of knowing from you personally, that because you weren't there, you didn't witness it, and you didn't hear from your tenants
On
that
that day, no.
Correct.
That's
Okay.
right.
But
Thank
sir, you are aware that there's usually illegal dumping in that corner there?
Not just that corner, but on the front and the side. And I know exactly what happened to this, because one of my tenants told me what happened. The building next to there, the person recently purchased it, the people were moving out of it, and the people that were moving out of it moved the trash from the building next door and put it over there.
Okay.
And I wasn't aware of it until I saw the citation. The citation was not given to me directly. The citation was put on the wall there, and one of the tenants said, "You have a citation on the wall." The next day, I came out and looked at the citation. That's when I wrote my letter back to the city asking for this hearing.
Okay. Anything else?
No, Judge, I'm ready for argument if you are.
Sure.
Judge, you heard testimony from Ms. St. Louis, and I'll reiterate back to our code under 21.31A. She had a reasonable cause to believe that there was bulk trash placed outside of the date that it was not supposed to be there, as she stated that she saw it on a Friday. obviously the standard is a little bit different now, which is the greater weight of the evidence. The city has presented Ms. St. Louis, who walked up to the property personally. We don't have any evidence from the defense side stating that any of these tenants didn't drop or place the bulk items there earlier than they should have. And you've heard testimony from Mr. Kelly himself that he was not there because he doesn't live on the property. Therefore, I mean, it's established, and I can pass up, you know, it's established in Florida. I can pass up some case law that, you know, the code violations run with the land, even though Mr. William Kelly's not there personally, and he's not the one that's dumping the stuff outside. You know, we're here for August 2nd, 2019. You know, it's irrelevant and outside of the scope, you know, whether there was bulk trash pickup down the street, across the street, next door on previous occasions or not. You know, what we're here for today is this particular trash, this particular furniture that was placed right in front of Mr. Kelly's home. I mean, I'm zooming in on
It's
the photo,
not
but
in
it's-
front. If this is the photograph that you guys are presenting, it's not in front of his property.
Judge, I submit to your honor that you see this property, it's you heard testimony, it's 4 units. So to the right of it, we see the parking where people
And that's the
pull
front
up.
of the building.
And this is to the right of it. So if we're saying that, okay, it's up there. If we're saying that this area right here, this greenery and this area to the side of the property is not a part of this property, then I mean, I don't know. This is definitely a part of it. If you're looking to the left of it,
Whose property is that back there?
this isn't Mr. Kelly's property. That's not 1275. We clearly see here that 1275 is the gray building.
Okay, let's,
It's not
Push it
graded
back.
anyway. So.
okay. So we're saying this is the walkway, correct?
This is in a budding surrounding area of this property.
And this is
yes.
the swale area, correct?
Yes, just
And that-
like this
and that's
area.
the street.
Just
Huh?
like,
That's the street.
no, it's not
What's
the
the
street.
street?
This is the swale
It is
area.
the street. Just in front of that pile there is the street that walks by there.
Okay,
I submit to you, Your Honor, that if you look at, and I'll zoom in so Your Honor can see what I'm referencing. This greenery right here, that's right in front of these trucks, belongs to this property. This greenery to the right of 1275 belongs to this property. This abutting area is the swale area for this property. It's not for the property next door. It's not for the property across the street or down the street. There's no evidence that has been presented from the other side at all that shows that this was not placed on there, that this violation was not there on August 2nd, 2019 from this property. But you do have testimony from Ms. St. Louis who did see it. It is on the property. It is on the swale area, and it does belong to the property. Now, these tenants have been there, you've heard, for 5 years. If they would have seen this and there's illegal dumping, as Mr. Kelly has stated, in the area, they would have given him a call. They should have a relationship with him. They would have given him a call. They could have given the city a call to say, hey, this is not my stuff.
so
But
you're
that's not the
shifting the
case here.
burden.
I'm not shifting the burden. There actually was no evidence from the defense. The only party that provided any type of evidence was the city in this regard.
Okay,
So if Your
and-
Honor's going to say that this doesn't belong to the property, then this whole right side of the property you're saying it doesn't belong there.
That's right. Doesn't belong there. I don't own that swell out there. That's city property. That's not my property out there.
Ms. St. Louis, does this swell area belong to,
No.
The swell area is considered to be public parking,
Right.
but per city code, property owners are responsible to
Exactly.
maintain it.
correct?
So if there's illegal dump or not, property owners are responsible for it. The city no longer wants to be responsible for any illegal dumps.
I don't find that the city met the burden, and I will dismiss the ticket.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to you, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Next case.
That concludes the ticket appeals. The next case is Gene Vincent. Case number CEIVY 2019-00092. Jose Perez is the code compliance officer.
Hold on, where do I find this now? the first one? The first one that I have is Anna Akon.
That's Jean Vincent.
Oh, we do
Did
that
you
now?
refresh it?
How do I refresh mine?
At the top right, there's the little refresher button.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you show me?
Top right, refresh. You gotta exit out of that first. And go back. Refresh at the top right. Yes.
Yeah, that's what it brought us to.
So go down to new business. Jean R. Vincent. Junia, can you please refresh her iPad?
Okay. So everyone else's is refreshed, but mine?
Mine isn't either.
No, it's so it's not just me.
So this one will be number 6 on the old list.
It's not refreshing.
What case are you?
What's the name?
Jean Vincent. He has 2 cases.
What number is on the agenda?
6.
6.
Mine isn't refreshed either. So
Okay.
Yeah, mine's working.
Hold on, I think this is it. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Good now?
1 second.
No,
Give me
mine
1
isn't.
second.
Okay. And tell me after Jean Vincent who comes next so that I see.
It's him again.
Uh-huh. And the third one is, okay.
This is those,
So number 1 with
one. That's the one, right?
yep, that's the one. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, sir, please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Yes, my name Jean R. Vincent, 135 Northwest, 123rd Street, North Miami, Florida, 33168.
Okay. And sir?
Junior Vincent.
Okay. All right, you may proceed.
City of North Miami Officer, Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to the property located at 135 Northwest 123rd Street. The first violation is in regards to inoperable vehicles that are being stored at the property. There are several vehicles that are being stored at the property, such as a Nissan SUV, a white Dodge pickup truck, and several others that are depictured in my evidence.
Mm-hmm.
as you can see by my photographs, dating back to May of 2019, we have several vehicles that are being stored at the property that are being just stored there, that are crashed. They're being worked on as well, but that's a separate violation from this. And the vehicles remain on the property to this day. I previously spoke with the property owner who advised he doesn't want the vehicles there, but his son just stores them at the property.
Okay. It's a lot of parts as well.
Correct.
What's going on? I'm assuming
Um,
it's Junior.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I brought the Nissan for my little sister. That's one. She got the car ready and everything. That car is long gone. The rest of the cars is mine. That truck still work. As you can see, I moved it. I do DJ. I took a little break from it. I use my friend truck right now. At the end of the day, all them cars work. All them cars is whatever. They registered and everything. So I don't know what's the problem. So if at the end of the day, if I just want to say something. If I was a millionaire and I owned a house in North Miami and I wanted to store, not store, but I own 5 cars, would it be a problem to have it at my house?
I don't think that's the violation.
No, the violation is he's saying I'm storing cars there. That's the violation.
But if they're inoperable, if they're not registered, and
They're
I'm seeing
registered.
car
They're
parts,
registered. They're registered.
and I'm seeing car parts just sitting
The
there
car
on
part
the
was for my
property.
sister car.
Per testimony from the father himself, when not testimony, sorry, when I went and spoke with the property owner itself, he advised that some of the vehicles were not operable. He advised that the Dodge pickup truck has a seized motor. So this came straight from the property owner. He's advising that they are inoperable itself. That the vehicles are being purchased at auction, as you could also see in some of the photographs.
Right.
They are still marked with the auction markings.
Put up the photographs again so the son can see what we're seeing. Let's start with the first one.
That car is
This
gone.
is the Ultima
That
that you
car is
bought for your
gone.
sister?
Yes, that car's gone.
Which one, this one or the other
Yeah,
one?
it's gone.
Okay, so it's gone now.
She's in Gainesville with it.
All right. Actually, you have more photos than I do, officer. So show it one by one. So all these vehicles in total, how many vehicles are there?
Well, here on the side of the property, we have 4 vehicles. Here we have another crashed Nissan that's being stored
That's
there.
my car. I'm waiting to get paid so I can fix it. That's my car.
And then since they are parked in a row, some of them can't be seen as easily on photograph.
Exactly. The car's not unorganized. Everything's neat. Nothing's messy. Like, the only car that was there was looking unorganized was my sister's car. That car's gone now. No trash there. There's nothing going on with the cars. So
Keep getting kicked out. I'm just having a hard time with this stupid thing here. Give me 1 second. Let me find the file. Okay, I'll just follow along. Okay.
What do you want to see, Judge, so he can pull it up?
I know, I wanted to see the citation. I can't find.
pull it up?
Well, this was just a notice violation.
Yeah. And it says, please remove any and all inoperable vehicles from your property to include the Nissan SUV and white Dodge pickup truck. Okay. And where's the white Dodge? Where are the vehicles now? The white Dodge?
it's the Dodge is in the back. They so-called said the motor seized, but I drove it to the back.
And this was verbatim from his father, who's the property owner, who advised that the motor has seized.
The motor is seized, but I drove it to the back. Once again,
Mr. Vincent, did you not tell me that the motor was not functional on the white Dodge pickup truck?
He's wanting, he's bought it to, for himself to do his own business. He's my son. I don't
Okay.
know. The car, it was warning, he's going to.
Did you not tell
he's
me
supposed to do what
on
he-
the day that I handed you the notice to appear, did you not tell me yourself that the motor was not running on that vehicle?
No, he's warning, but he's going to fix it. That's his truck. I told you, but he's not. I have only one car, and one was for my wife. We threw away my wife's car. We threw it away. But
all right, that's
They
not what
took-
they asked you.
they took-
Apparently, yes. Okay, he said it. Yes, he said it.
I said,
But at the end of the day, is it seized if I drove it to the back?
yeah,
So you basically hold on.
Just
the whole
because it's
hold on.
moved.
The whole purpose of this whole thing is I have junk cars in my yard. If I have junk cars, why do they drive? Why are they registered? And I can, if you want me to, you could schedule another court date, and I can bring every registration to every car in my yard. Simple.
So the violation itself is not for the vehicles not being registered. Again,
You
they
just
were inoperable.
can you pull up the
Can you give
The-
us an opportunity to finish?
It says inoperable. I was the one who said, I
Okay.
believe I was the one who said that.
Per the
I'm sorry.
code, it doesn't require for the vehicle to be registered or not registered. It's just inoperable or in derelict conditions. As depicted, some of
In
these
the
vehicles
photographs.
are inoperable and in derelict conditions. Some of them are even crashed. Some of these vehicles are ending up in the SWAT area, and there are multiple incidents where I'm having to red tag these vehicles that are being bought in auction in that specific area as well, which is part of the next violation, that are being left there. And there are several reports with the police department as well, because the vehicles are just being left there because they're being repaired. And then it becomes a nuisance to the surrounding properties.
question. Can I ask a question?
You can ask him a question, yes.
Did you cite any car in my yard or in front of any city property in front of that property, please?
Yes, and that's part of the next case. We'll hear that with the next case.
That dealing with my house.
Yes,
Or across
again,
or next to my house.
If you ask him a question, you really have to allow him an opportunity to respond.
again, yes, but that is part of the next case. The next case in reference to the zone prohibited use, which was of the dealing with the purchases of vehicles from the auctions and such, and the repairs. Again, right now we're speaking on behalf of the inoperable vehicles on the property itself. If you want to abate the violation by keeping the vehicles there, then I'm gonna have to request that you cover the vehicles with a weatherproof car-fitting car cover. That would be the way to abate this violation while you're keeping the vehicles on the property itself
With car covers?
with car covers. Weatherproof car-fitted covers. It can't just be a tarp.
Do you understand, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Based on the evidence presented, I do find a violation did exist. I find in favor of the city enter an adjudication. Property owner has, this is not an appeal, right?
No.
Okay. Has until, I don't have dates today. Today is the 25th.
Yes.
Judge, it should be 30 days. All he has to do is put a tarp on it, a cover.
Say that one more time?
All he has to do is put a cover on it if he's gonna keep the vehicles on the property, so 30 days should suffice.
I know, but I'm trying to see what is the next date for you guys, when is the next hearing date? Because based on what you're giving me now, I don't see today's date, the 23rd.
Next hearing, if I'm not mistaken, is October 16th.
Do we have a hearing though? Because it's crossed.
It's crossed out.
We are having a hearing on October 16th?
It's crossed out.
October 16th? All right, sir. You have until October 16th by which to resolve the violation. You heard the testimony of the code enforcement officer. If you're able to cover the vehicles.
Just the Maxima, correct? 'Cause
I'm
that's
sorry?
the only the Maxima, because that's the only car that's crashed, apparently.
any inoperable vehicles or any derelict-looking vehicles, such as the pickup truck that's being stored in the rear. So any vehicles that are not being used on a regular basis should be covered.
Okay. All right, because he is gonna come back around and trying to investigate to make sure that it's all done. If not, then I will issue. Huh? November 13th? Okay, that's what I thought, 'cause I thought I saw this crossed out. Okay, you actually have until November 13th, but don't wait, because again, you know, if it's not a good look for the neighborhood, and it's, you know,
The-
your neighbors are complaining, and that's the reason why the officer is
They
coming
cannot be
around.
complaining about my house. I guarantee you. My house is not.
Not based on the photographs that I'm seeing.
That
You
was
have
one-
multiple
that
vehicles
day,
which are not in.
That's exactly how the car got dropped off. Exactly. That same, exactly how you see it. That's exactly how it came off the tow truck. Exactly how it came off the tow truck. Did he come the next day and see that car?
Okay, so we can only talk about the day that he showed up and saw the
Exactly.
violation and issued the
Exactly.
citation,
I understand.
okay?
And if we could go
So-
on to the next case, which will further explain the circumstances of the nuisance in the area.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
So now we're hearing the case in reference to zone prohibited use. I'm sorry, you have to announce it?
All right, we're here, same,
She can call it.
okay.
The next case will be Gene Vincent, CEZPU 2019-00033. The officer is Jose Perez.
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to the property at 135 Northwest 123rd Street. This is in reference to zone prohibited use, specifically vehicle repairs, sales, and storage that it's running at the property itself, which is prohibited under residential zoning district.
Hmm?
And I'm waiting on my photographs to load up so I can
Okay.
display them. So here we're gonna see several vehicles that are being stored in front and adjacent to the property itself that are red tagged and they have been abated at this point. Some of these photographs date back to May. So we have the vehicles that are being stored in front of the property itself. You have the vehicle that was there, that was being worked on. You have the car parts on the side. You have several vehicles that are essentially being bought from the auction and being repaired at this property to being sold. At this point, the city is requesting compliance in the aspect of them seizing any and all operations in regards to buying and repairing and selling the vehicles.
Off of the property,
Correct.
in the residential area.
Correct. So at this point, if we could get an adjudication in reference to that, that would be great, as well as obviously compliance from the property owner.
All right. Sir?
Those two cars wasn't my cars. Those are the neighbor, my dad, my mom, and other neighbors complained about that to the other neighbors already. And that's what got the cars moved, because we told them their car was going to get towed or something like that. And that's what made the guy come to move it. Because first of all, he was blocking the gate. We couldn't even come in and out that gate. That was the white gate, the house with the white gate. And beside that, everything else we already spoke about inside my yard. So those other two cars ain't have nothing to do with me. I don't park cars outside. So
your neighbors parked their cars in front of your
one
gate,
was in front of
blocking your
because
entry?
what happened was his mom, well, the parents that was there was parked outside. So he basically tried to like squeeze all his cars there, thinking it was gonna be for one day. And he ended up moving it when we kept threatening him, saying, "Oh, your car gonna get towed or whatever," and that's what ended up happening.
And if I may, not once.
And
did
that's
the
why
city
that's why I said earlier, was it me or like when you talk about neighborhood being corrupted with mess, is it me or around my house? Because it clearly isn't me. What mess I have inside my yard is inside my yard. I clean it up. As you can see, you go there today, you go whenever. It's no mess.
Yeah, but if it's right outside your gate, it's hard for me
I understand that, but like I said, the neighbors squeezed it in there because they was complaining to them about it already. So
Yes, sir.
Yes, sometimes I'm outside, I'm not there, I'm coming to work, I have to wait. They come move the car in front my gate, you know, they park anywhere they want, you know. So I will be a victim like that, you know. I'm working and I live by 2 o'clock, I'm working at night, you know. So I'm not there. I don't know what's going on, but
He even-
I'm focused about inside my yard, you know. But outside, I have one car, so and my son the car inside. I'm not focused about nothing outside.
he even cited another car, which was the Altima, that was on the opposite side of the street for the same person. So does that deal with us or that deals with that person?
Again, the vehicles are cited all along the street that were being
Exactly.
left there. Regardless of ownership, the vehicles were cited. Now, as part of being a property owner, it is your responsibility to maintain the adjacent area in front of your property, that being the SWA area where the vehicles are parked, especially if it's blocking your gate. I would assume that if it's blocking my gate, I would call the city at least or report it saying, hey, that's not my vehicle. But in this case, no communication was had, no complaints were submitted. I proactively enforced this, and I was the one that cleared up all the vehicles from the street. And it so happened that the vehicles were right in front of this property. And at this property, there are vehicles that are sitting there that are in conditions that appear to be straight from the auction. So it leads me to believe that this property is also conducting that sort of activity.
As neighbors, you work with each other. He parked his car there. Apparently, it's supposed to be moved because you're blocking my gate. That's one. So for sure, you know you're supposed to move that car. At the end of the day, until it got to that point where we got that notification, hey, move that car, we end up telling him, hey, you don't want to move this car right then and there. Guess what? Your car about to get towed or whatever's going to happen. And that's what made him come down from where he stayed to move the car. Because I don't have the car key. So what you want me to do with that?
But excuse me, please. They should
Yes, sir.
They should figure out who's the car belong to, because I'm not there, you know.
When you purchase a car from the auction, the vehicle is not registered until someone else buys the car. So it is some of these cases are very difficult to find out exactly who the owner of the vehicle is. So you can't run the VIN number, find out where it belongs, because some of these vehicles aren't registered yet. Some of these are from out of the state. Some of these are from different areas, and they're not registered.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm going by the evidence that was presented in the testimony. Your testimony stated that at least one of the vehicles were dropped off by the auction truck to your house.
Regular tow truck from the actual person who I purchased the car from. And that was the car that's in the yard, which is my sister's car.
Okay, unless my memory is, and I unless my memory is faulty. Thank you. All right. Oh, nice. Unless my memory is faulty, I did hear something about the about auction, that you purchased a vehicle from auction. Am I wrong?
He said I purchased it from auction, which I did, but I purchased it through someone and that person don't have they don't have nowhere to leave the car.
Whether
So,
or not you purchased it through a third party from the auction, you still purchased the vehicle from the auction. So
yes,
you
I
take
said-
ownership
I
of
just
the
said,
vehicle
I just
from
said
the
I
auction.
purchased it from the auction, right or wrong.
I do, but at the same
So-
time, you want me to believe the other two auction vehicles are not yours, that are parked right outside your gate.
I
I'm
just-
having a difficult time with that.
No,
I'm having a difficult time believing that, you know, all these vehicles that I see based on the photographs that are presented, they all seem to be vehicles that were purchased, probably being fixed on the property for sale.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Officer Perez, driving around that neighborhood, how many people do you see do auction around there beside that one house?
There are several violations for multiple properties throughout
Exactly.
the entire area.
Exactly.
But
So-
right now, we're focusing on
I
your
got it.
specific property
All right.
and the
What
vehicles
I'm
that were
saying
on your
is-
property.
All right, not around that neighborhood, down on that one block, that 123rd Street.
But I'm focusing on your house.
Yes.
I'm focusing on the many vehicles that I see in your yard. I'm focusing on the car parts. I'm focusing on the two vehicles that are directly in front of your gate. Also without tag, which seems like these are two vehicles that were purchased at an auction. And so based on that, a reasonable person can believe that these vehicles all belong to one owner and one property. And this is my ruling. I do find that I do find in favor of the city, I do find that the violation did exist. And you wanted language that they need to cease.
Correct.
Whatever
Operation is
operation
occurring.
that they have going on that property. So if you are purchasing vehicles from an auction or somebody who has
A dealer's
a
license.
dealer's license, but they're bringing these vehicles onto your property and they're being stored there and they're being worked on there, where I'm telling you right now, that has to stop. It has to cease.
As
And
well
this
as the
is ruling.
repair.
The repairs and all of it. It has to stop. And so that's my ruling. And you actually get a big bonus because our next hearing is not until November. But at the same time, the officer's gonna keep coming around, and if he sees violations, then you're going to continue to be cited for any violations. Did I give a fine amount
No,
on any of it?
no.
Okay, so if we're not, if this violation is not resolved by the abatement date, and I have to go back to both cases, because I don't think I issued a fine amount. The abatement date of November 13th, there will be a fine on each case of $1,500. Is that clear, sir?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Is
you, Your
that
Honor.
clear, sir? All right, good luck to you guys.
Thank you.
That's each case, you understand, right?
Next case is Jennifer Lebitzner.
No, it's good, thank you.
Case number CEL SC 2019-00006. The officer is Shannon Sanders.
Sir, please state your full name and, sir?
Yes,
Please
ma'am.
state your full name in relationship to the property.
Okay, I do not have the notarized statement for power to speak, but the person is my wife. I am her husband. My name is Arnold Landgren, and I have spoken here on her behalf before.
Let's see about that.
Are you allowed?
How do you feel about that? If that's her husband, I will allow him to speak. I mean, I'll take,
Property owner as well. Are you the property owner?
No, I am not on the deed.
Judge,
but I'll take his testimony. I'll
I
I'll
am the
weigh it.
person that needs to do the work.
Okay.
So, and I am the one trying to do.
Whether she's here or not, I will still make a ruling. All I'm saying is I will listen to what he has to say.
but
But
I'm going to object to him speaking on behalf of the property owner, Judge.
Well, I don't know that he's necessarily need to speak on behalf of the property owner, or is it just as a witness who lives there.
But he's not being used as a witness by the city. So who is he being used as a witness by if the property owner or nobody representing her is here?
I have allowed tenants, I've allowed,
And tenants can speak, people who have power of attorney can speak, but he's not on the deed and he doesn't have power of attorney, so I'm gonna object to it. It's your honor's call.
the
But
city,
that's-
over the city's objection, I will allow you to speak.
Thank you, Your Honor, I appreciate that.
But the next time, you probably need to get a power of attorney from your
Yes, ma'am,
wife
most
signed and
definitely.
notarized.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I'm assuming that we will probably be here one more time. Like I said, this is not the first time I've been here. But I'll let Ms. Sanders go.
Okay.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This is a new case that was originally started in April 12, 2019, for overgrown trees and landscaping that needs to be maintained. I spoke with the property owner on a couple of occasions, along with her husband, who stated that they were going to, have the trees trimmed. As of last week, Thursday and Friday, the trees still remain overgrown. He's stating that he's done some work, but it's still severely overgrown. I'll let, her husband speak and explain why.
No, open the photos. Let me see the
Okay.
photos. I'm looking at them. They're sideways. Is it the way that you guys upload these? Because show me what it is that I'm looking at.
Okay. One moment.
And I may not be looking at the right thing either, so let's make sure. This is on item number 3, right? Yeah,
And
that's
they
what I
are
was
all
looking
sideways, as you can see. You're looking at more so the trees that are located in the front of the property. As you can see, it covers just about all of the house.
Mm-hmm.
He also has trees that's in the back of the property. Again, that's, let me pull those up. That shows the amount that he said he cut last week, Friday. As you can see in the back, tree that's covering over the entire rear of the property. You can't see the rear structure of the house,
Mm-hmm.
but, overgrown landscaping and trees that
Okay.
needs to be trimmed.
Okay. All right. So I am going to ask you over the city's objection. Do you understand the violation?
Yes, I do understand the violation. And I have been attempting to work on clearing that violation. I did not understand which trees specifically the city had an issue with. If you notice on the first set of pictures there with the gumbo limbo in the front, there were 2 trees next to that. One is a palm tree. One was a Florida holly or Brazilian pepper tree. I had trimmed those back several times because they were growing back over the house. Every time the palm tree grows up, it sends up new fronds next to the neighbor's house, which was one of the things that was written on the thing in April. I did not own a chainsaw to remove that palm tree, but I've been keeping that tree trimmed. When I got the notice of violation, I thought it was for other things going on because I get these that look like a form letter that, show up in the mail. But when I discussed with Ms. Saunders last week, when I actually got a new chainsaw and was able to start taking care of the tree and remove debris from the trees, she explained to me exactly which trees were the actual issue.
Okay.
And I am attempting to take care of those. However, at this point, with what I've done and one of her last pictures was of the laurel oak in my front yard, which is still semi-close to the neighbor's house. I'm going to have to get a professional certified arborist to come in and trim up that tree.
Okay. And I
My-
think you were here earlier and you heard one of the cases where they trimmed the tree a little too much and destroyed it.
That's why I'm
So
getting
you
an
don't want,
arborist.
exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm hoping to do that for the front one. The canopy that was over that was on the car, that's another issue. I'm attempting to rectify that as well.
Was that before us today? I mean, I noticed it, but I don't think you
It
addressed
hasn't,
that.
it hasn't,
I'm
it's
sorry.
been an issue in the past.
The canopy?
Yes, the
Oh,
canopy's
he has
been an
another
issue.
violation open. You asking about the carport structure or
Right,
the
but I'm saying this is not being heard today because you didn't
No,
address it.
I believe he's talking about the tree that's in the rear near the canopy straw, but he has another violation for that, that's not being presented today. But the tree in the back also needs to be, trimmed.
If I can get a full list of the violations from her office and time to come back at your next hearing, I will try my best to have all of it taken care of so that hopefully we don't have to come back here.
All right, so after the hearing, you can meet with the officer in the back and then she can tell you what else she has pending. But based on the evidence presented in the testimony, I find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city enter an adjudication. You have until November 13th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $500.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. All right, how many cases do we have left? Because I need to go to the restroom.
We have a lot left.
A lot?
And then we have
All
a
right.
1 p.m. too.
I know. Okay, can we take, Junior? We're taking a 5-minute recess. 5 minutes, anyone who needs to use the restroom and so on. We'll reconvene in 5 minutes, guys.